My spoiled brat. Hello. Hello. Are you done? No? Yeah, okay. Okay. Alright, go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay down. Sit. Stop it. Hi, hello, welcome back, Focus Besties, to another video. I come to you tell you about my Romantasy Bingo TBR. Romantasy Bingo is a year-long readathon, which actually started November 1st of 2025 and goes to October 31st of 2026. I am going to go for a full blackout, which I know sounds crazy, 25 books by October 31st. We can do it though. I'm on a roll here, guys. I'm in like such a reading mood. It's kind of scary. And I start a new job next week and I'm scared that I'm not going to read. I mean, this week. And I'm scared that I'm not going to read. But I digress. Anyways, the Romantasy Bingo TBR is a bingo challenge created by Covers with Castley. I will leave her video link down below for you so you can go watch that. If you want to participate, you can join at any point in time. Like I said, I am going for a blackout and I'm going for all hard mode. So yeah, this took me a long time to put together the TBR. It took me a long time to find books for each of these that I was really interested in reading. So with that being said, I don't want to keep you here for too long because I yap a lot. So we're just gonna go through each row of bingo on the bingo board and talk about the books that I plan on reading for them. So first up, we have new release, and the hard mode is debut author. Now this has to be a book that you read in that year. I could have cheated and I could have used Direbound for this, but I didn't. I knew I wanted to do this challenge all throughout 2026, so that's what we are going to do. So the book that I picked instead is called A Prince Among Pirates by Katie Abdu. This is a debut author. It is a new release that comes out, I think, in a couple months. I don't really remember when. I think it comes out in April or March, one of the two. All I know, right, the only reason I picked this one is because it is LGBTQIA. I saw and also the cover. The cover pulled me in. I literally just look up 2026 debut authors, and literally this is one of the ones I saw, and I was like, I want it. I don't know anything about it. I go into my books pretty blind. So with that being said, we're moving on to the next prompt, which is Hidden Identity. And the hard mode is not royalty. And the book that I picked for this one is Arcana Academy by Elise Kova. I've actually heard really good things about Elise Kova. I've just never really read her books. I know she has the Deal series where it's like a deal with the F King, a deal with the something. All those sorts of books, that I never read those. I've never really been interested in them. But this one sounds right up my alley of something I would really enjoy. As I was saying, this one just sounds like right up my alley. So this is the one I put on the TBR for this. The next prompt is Take Down the System, and the hard mode for this is dystopian setting. And so for this one, I picked Silver Elite by Danny Francis. I remember when this book first came out and I was still kind of in my reading slump, but I saw people reading this and really enjoying it. And at first, I was like, I'm never going to read it because it's never going to live up to like my expectations of like dystopian, because I was very much a Divergent and the Maze Runner type girly. I never read the Hunger Games. Don't come for me. I'm probably going to end up reading that this year. Not even probably. It's on my TBR for the year. But I saw this one and I thought this would be really good. So, this is the prompt. This is the book that I chose for this prompt. Again, another one that I don't really know anything about, besides that it was a very popular book. And I let the hype die down before I read it, before I'm planning on reading it. The next book I have for you is BIPOC author, and hard mode is flowers on the cover. And for that, I am picking The Throne of Broken Gods by Amber V. Nicole, which is the second book in the Gods and Monsters series. As you can see, flowers on the cover. I read the Book of Azrael, really enjoyed it, and so I was like, this is gonna get read whether in 2026 anyway, so I decided to add it to this, which is an easy book to kind of add to the list. Like I said, it's going to get read this year, whether it was on this TBR or not, so just why not just knock out two birds, one stone by putting on the TBR. The next book I have is First Person, and hard mode is new to you author. So the book that I chose for this was House of Bane and Blood by Alexis L. Minard. I don't know. This is one that Cassidy praises very, very highly. Okay, this woman talks about this book like all the freaking time. And so I've been meaning to read it, and then it got picked up to get trad published. I was waiting for them to get like re-come out, and they have started re-coming out again in these new covers, which I really like. So yeah, I could have used this book for another prompt, and it was very hard. It's like a lot of these books I have on this TBR I could have used for other prompts, and it was just I needed to, find them. I had deep dive. Like, this was a struggle, guys. Deep diving for these books was a struggle. The next prompt is Blank of Blank, which is just a title that literally is Blank of Blank. And the hard mode is not Fae. And the book that I picked for this is Blood of Hercules by Jasmine Nice. This one I'm pretty sure is related to Greek mythology in some way, shape, or form. And our love interest, I think it's a white chiefs. I'm not quite sure though, don't quote me on that. I have heard really, really good things about this one, and I know the sequel recently came out, which is Bonds to Hercules. I think this is a trilogy or duology. I don't really know, don't ask me. But people are saying that the second book following this wraps up this storyline, and there's more to come in the series with a different one. So I don't know. But I do know that I really, really want to read this, and it fit perfectly for this one. Because it's like one of the only books that I could find with Blank of Blank that was not Fae. The next prompt is Indie to Trad Pipeline. So basically it was originally indie published and now it's getting traditionally published. And the hard mode is a sequel. And the book I chose for this was City of Souls and Sinners by Kayla Edwards. Again, another book I could have chosen for a prompt coming up here soon. But I chose it for this one because I originally chose the Everqueen, but I don't know if I'm going to like the Everking enough to continue on with that series. So I don't want to overcommit myself. And this is one where, again, this was going to get read in 2026 because I read City of Gundam Monsters like late November. And I really need to continue on with the series because these are getting trad published currently as we speak. I think book 1 came out in January and this one's coming out this month or next month. So she's a thick one, but I can do it. The next book we have is Rep Matters, and hard mode is Own Voices. The next prompt is Rep Matters, and hard mode is Own Voices. So for this one, I chose Oathbound by Tracy Deonn, which is the third book, and the Legend-Born Cycle by Tracy Deonn is a Black author writing about Black characters. So Rep Matters, Own Voices. I can't tell you much about this one, but basically we're following Brie Matthews as she gets into the secret society of the Legend-Born, who are based off of the legend of King Arthur and like the 7 Knights of the Round Table, or however many knights it is of the Round Table. Yeah, it's good. It's a lot. This is the chunkiest book in the series so far, and it is an incomplete series. So I've been putting off reading this, but this is like extra motivation for me to read this. The next prompt is Start a New Series, and the hard mode for this is the author must write in another genre. So I chose Shield of Sparrows by Devoney Perry because Devoney Perry also writes under another pen name and writes romances. So I thought perfect, but also it's another popular book talk, just book in general. It was all over BookTube, it was all over Book Talk, Bookstagram. It was popular wherever you looked. And so I thought, why not add it? But also, I've always been interested in Devoney Perry. I'm just kind of scared and don't know where I want to begin. So I thought, why not start with her fantasy world? The next prompt is urban setting, and the hard mode for this is a secondary world, which just means it's not set in the real world. So, like, technically, Oathbound and Legend-Born Cycle would be an urban fantasy, but it is set in our world and uses like real world places. So for the prompt for the book, I chose Terror at the Gates by Scarlett St. Clair. I'm a little scared to go into this because I did DNF A Touch of Darkness a couple years ago, and I have yet to try anything else by Scarlett St. Clair. But I've heard really, really good things about this one from Cassidy. Rachel from Raven Haired Reader has also read this, and a couple other people that I know have read this have really enjoyed it. So this is also going to be a buddy read with a friend of mine, so I'm excited about that. The next prompt is Ghost and Ghouls, and the hard mode for this is the love interest has to be one of the two. And so for this one, I chose Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. Another one that I feel like is very popular that I'm getting very late to the trend on. I think this got popular in 2024, and I just never read it. So I'm trying to catch back up with this. I think I also have this on my 2026 TBR. If I don't, well, I should have, but this is the book I'm going for. I've heard really good things about it, and this just sounds right up my alley. I am going to read this digitally because they have these special editions of these books that have come out that I want, and they are stunning. So I'm going to read this digitally and then go buy the special editions if I like them. Our next prompt is A Voice Inside Your Head, and the hard mode for this is Not an Animal. And so for this one, I chose Quicksilver by Callie Hart, which is the first book in the Fan Alchemy series. I know nothing about this book besides the male love interest is literally named Kingfisher, which has kind of put me off of reading this book for a while. But also, I'm just in the middle of so many series that this has got put on the back burner. But I'm finally starting it. Books 1 and 2 are out, and book 3 is coming out later this year. So I thought it was the perfect time to kind of start getting into this. So I put it on my Romantasy Bingo TBR. There were so many books that I could have put on this that weren't animals that I know of. And I just went for this one because this is the one that I have been eyeing the most. The next one is Friend Wreck, and hard mode for this is taken from Cassidy's channel. And so like I said, this one was, I could have chosen multiple books for. I could have chosen Quicksilver. I could have picked House of Bane and Blood. I could have picked Silver Elite. I could have picked so many books, but for this one, I chose The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent, which is the first book in the Crowns of the Axia series. I did softy enough this a while back, but that was because I was fresh off of finishing Daughter of No Worlds, expecting something similar when those are very different in tone and material, and so that was my fault. So we're gonna retry this again. If I did enough again this time, then I don't know what the heck I'm gonna pick, but this is the one we have for now. The next book we have, our next prompt we have is Book Talk Hype, and the hard mode is still indie at the time of reading, which this one, another one, very hard because these books that are indie published are getting picked up like this. It's so hard to keep up with. But the one I went for was Academy by Susan Valenti and Caroline Peckham. This is still indie published. Originally this was independently published on KU, but now they have been picked up by another independent publisher. And so I don't think they will ever get tried published by one of big three or the big book ones. So we're gonna go for this one. I have read this before, but it's been so long that I don't even remember anything about it besides we're following Tori and Darcy, and they're supposed to take a throne in this world, but there's these 4 heirs who don't want them to have it. But anything else besides that, I don't really remember. So time for a reread. The next prompt is Forbidden Romance, and the hard mode is not Enemies to Lovers. So this one was another little bit tricky one, but the one I went for is Blood Mercy by Vila Roth, which is the first book in the Blood Gray series. And this is literally just a forbidden romance because he is a vampire or a Hesperian and she is a human, and they're not supposed to be together at all. It's frowned upon in her world for her to be with him. Yeah. So this is what I'm going for. Another chunky one, chunky book, but this is one that's on my priority series. This one is Academy on my priority series for the year. So I thought this would be another incentive to start it and go through together. The next prompt is trials, which is literally what it is, just trials. And hard mode is an academic setting. And so for this one, I chose On Wings of Blood by Briar Bolin. From what I know, this does have trials in it, and it is in an academy setting. It's literally called Blood Wing Academy. I have heard really, really good things about this one. I think there are vampires and dragons in this one, and those two were like very happy words for me when I hear they're involved in the book. I know I will pick up the book immediately. So the next prompt is 2 plus love interest, and the hard mode for this is not a love triangle. Again, another hard one because a lot of the times when you have 2 plus love interest, it is a love triangle. But then I thought about it, there's a whole genre that is literally called Why Choose, and it is Why Choose. So I chose Her Feral Beast by E.P. Bali. I know pretty much nothing about this one. I think it's shapeshifters, and she has like 4 or 5 mates in this one. If I do not end up liking this one, I do have a backup plan of reading Broken Bonds by Jay Bree, which I know is a Why Choose fantasy romance. It's dark fantasy romance. I'm pretty sure she had like 4 or 5 like mates or whatever. So the next prompt is single POV, and the hard mode is published 5 or more years ago, but I cannot for the life of me figure one out. So if you have recommendations, you let me know. I need to find some more people who are participating in this challenge so I can go look at theirs, because I've struggled with this and I've been looking for forever. So moving on to the next one though, we have court setting, and the hard mode is animal on the cover. Now I'm pretty sure there's a court setting in this. If I am wrong, then you can tell me and I can find another book for this one. But the book I went for this one was The Wolf King by Lauren Pauferman. Is that how you say her name? This is the first book in a trilogy, and I think the trilogy is being finished this year. So there's potential for me to read all 3 books in this series this year, but this is the book that I'm going to choose for this prompt. The next prompt is A Whole New World, and the hard mode for this is a retelling or reimagining. Now, this one, I could have chosen another book for this, but the book I'm going for this one is Bonded by Thorns by Elizabeth Helen. I could have chosen this one for 2 plus love interest, but I had this one in mind for this specific prompt because this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, I'm pretty sure. But she also has 2 plus love interest. This is another Why Choose. And so this one has been on my TBR, on my radar for a while now, and I really, really want to get to it. It's actually something I want to get to like pretty soon. So hopefully we can do that. The next prompt is Reluctant Allies to Lovers, and hard mode is a Marriage of Convenience. And I'm pretty sure this one fits the prompt. If it does not, again, I'm sorry. But we have Trial of the Sun Queen by Nisha J. Tooley. This is one where I think there are trials where she has to find a bachelor or whatever. So it's another like Marriage of Convenience because they're not really like in love per se. She literally is in a trial to find the right person for her to marry. There's another book that I was thinking of putting on here, but I ended up not being a Marriage of Convenience, and it ended up being an arranged marriage. And I consider those like 2 different like prompts. So I chose this one. If I know if I had another book that I can make fit this, then I will. But this is the current book we have on there. The next book is one word title, and hard mode is Gothic. And the book that I chose for this was Anathema by Carrie Lake. I heard that Carrie Lake is like the queen of like some good dark Gothic reads. I know Anathema is a series, so I could have gone with Nocticadia, but I'm more interested in this one than I am Nocticadia. I will be reading both. If I don't end up getting to Anathema by the end of the year, then Nocticadia is what I would take to replace this one. But for now, Anathema is the one we're going for, because I'm pretty sure I also put this on my 2026 TBR. So, 2 birds, 1 stone, you know what I'm saying? The next prompt I have here is Shifter Romance, and the hard mode for this is not wolves. And for this one, I chose The God and the Gumiho. I'm pretty sure one of the main characters changes into a Gumiho, if I'm not wrong. I'm pretty sure that's what this book is about. I don't know anything else besides that. Again, I go into my books very blind, so I could be so very bluntly wrong, but it's too late. The next prompt is weapon on the cover, and the hard mode for this is powerless main character. I could have gone for Powerless by Lauren Roberts, but after learning that her book is basically the same book as the Red Queen, and there are literal quotes taken from one book and put in the other, like copy and paste into the other, I will not be doing that because that is called plagiarizing, and we don't support that here. So for this one, I chose The Shadows Between Us by Trisha Levenseller. I read this like at the very, very beginning of my reading journey, so it was a very long time ago, like 5 years ago. I think I started reading back in like 2021 when I was doing school from home, because that was my like sophomore year of high school. We were doing school from home, and I was like, well, I could start reading, and so I started reading. Yeah. So with that being said, we're going to add this one to it. I don't remember anything about this. I think this was like another like marriage of convenience, maybe arranged marriage, something along the lines, but I don't really remember it. And then last but not least, this is the last prompt we have. We have Chunky Series, and hard mode is interconnected with another one. So for this one, I chose the Legacy series by Melissa K. Roy, starting with Random Shadows and Endings. I have heard nothing but amazing things about this series from everybody who has read it. It is a very, very, very dark romantasy series that I know like pretty much nothing about, and it is interconnected with the Lady of Darkness series by Melissa K. Roy. Like if you watch it, you can read this first and then go into this, because there are characters from this series that show up in this series. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm usually the type of person who's like, if you tell me that I have to read one series for another one, I am. But I'm just like, I want to read this one so bad that but I digress. And I digress. That's all the books that I have. I'm literally only missing one book, and that's with a single POV prompt. And I have been looking and trying. I just cannot. Okay, Nala. Anyways, what was it? Yeah, that's the only prompt that I have for you that I don't have a book for, and I will be continuing to hunt down and try and find. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. The reason for this video is because you will see a vlog coming to you in the month of February with me reading this, and I thought it would be a good idea to have a TBR, give you a TBR, so you know kind of what books I could pick up, because when I start the vlog, I'm literally just going to start it. I'll be like, hey, this is a vlog, let's go. And then I'm going to pick my first book. I don't know what my first book is going to be. We will see. I could already have started one before I start the vlog. We will see what we're doing, okay, when we start the vlog. But I digress. I will see you guys in my next one. Have a great day, evening, night, morning, afternoon, and whatever part of the world you are having it in. Down below, I'm in my Goodreads, Instagram, and my Fable for you to go check out if you want to check out, obviously. And like I said, I will leave Cassidy's announcement video down below for you. And happy February, because it's going up on literally February 2nd, literally the Monday, first Monday of the month. And so you're getting 3 videos from me this week. There you go. I hope you're happy. But with that being said, I'll see you guys in my next one. Good.